humid here. My hair is everywhere. Okay. Hello, hello, hello everyone. Hello, hello. Very happy to be here. I'm very thirsty while I'm here. We'll give it a minute, let people get in. Okay. So we had the solstice blessings to everyone. We had the solstice. And we have the new moon. The new moon on Wednesday, very early morning on Wednesday, 6:30 in the morning East Coast time if you are here in the United States. Hello, thank you. I hope you are well too. It seems it's very dark. It's always very dark. Can't seem to do much to. I'm really nicely lit on Instagram. Hi. It's hilarious. The thing that's hilarious is that my husband is a professional lighting designer. So he lights things well for money. And clearly he's not part of this. So of my weekly, he does help with bigger projects, but my wonderful husband, the professional lighting designer, is not part of lighting my Mondays. So I look super medium light with my face half in the shadows. Ooh. Well, I'm always trying to take the ooh out of the work that we do so that it's like ooh and not, because I had somebody recently tell me I was dabbling in, not dabbling, she said I was fully blown into the occult, and I thought, I don't think you know what that means. I don't think that doesn't mean what you think it means. Or, aw, thanks, Stephen. Well, I always try to be very ethereal. I don't know. It's not my thing. I'm pretty much what you see, what you get. I try not to be elusive or I don't know. Mysterious is not a word I think anyone who knows me would use to describe me, but that's hilarious. Thank you. Y'all are good for my ego. I appreciate it. All right, so we have the solstice was the other day, right? Over the weekend, and then we have the new moon on Wednesday morning. This is the new moon going into Cancer. This is a lot about forgiveness. Okay, this new moon in Cancer is going to be a lot about forgiveness. It's going to be a lot about forgiving, well, when we talk about forgiveness, we start with self, okay? We talk about forgiving ourselves because one of the last places that we offer forgiveness is very often to ourselves, right? Now, remember, forgiveness does not mean we are condoning the behavior. If somebody does something wrong, we're not trying to, whitewash it. We're not trying to be like, oh, it's okay, they won't do it again, because, that may or may not be true, and often it's not. But when we have forgiveness, we do a lot of work around forgiveness, right? And we have forgiveness, we often are forgiving the other person. It does not mean we're approving their actions or excusing their actions. Hold, please. Right. It doesn't mean we're approving or excusing their actions, but we are letting go of the parts of the situation that are negatively impacting us, which is often the parts about, that is making us ill or holding on to anger and hijacking our path and all those things that are for us, right? And at the same time, that kind of stuff, keeping all that kind of energy, thank you. My grandmother would say, Zeigezint when I would sneeze, and so as a joke, my husband and I for years we would say Zeigezout, because we just thought it was hilarious because she never, we were just playing on the words and she never got it, and it was just hilarious. So she's, laughing in heaven now. Anyway, so we forgive people because that stuff that's inside of us that holds on to the anger and the resentment and all that stuff that we swallowed, things we didn't say and all that stuff is what creates illness in the body, right? We can really make our own selves sick. So it's really important that when we're looking at forgiveness, we are, of course, we want to keep the lesson. What did you learn from that experience so that you don't repeat it? right? And that's the part we really don't look at. We're just like, oh, glad that's over. I'm like, okay, hang on, we're glad that's over. That's great. But can we take a second to say, what can we gain? Where wisdom, what lesson, what something? You know, I'm always talking about the pony and the horse poop, right? There's got to be a pony in there somewhere. Where is the lesson? Where is the pony that's in that horse poop you just had to dig all through? There's got to be something that's a blessing in there if we're willing to stop and take a look for it, okay? So, but when we do that, we are still looking outward. We're still looking at all the things that we are forgiving others for, and we're not necessarily taking that moment to say, okay, one, do I have culpability in this? How did I contribute to the situation? Because very often we are part of whatever the situation was. Either we allowed something to go on too long, or we ignored, or we misread signals or something. We have a part in all the things that we are presented with, right? The universe brings to us the things that we've asked for, whether we know that we asked for it, whether we meant to ask for it. This is why when we're in manifestation, we want to be very, very clear with the universe about what it is that we're asking for and what it is we want. So getting clear about what we want ahead of time, really, really important, right? So we have to look at what it is that we are, like what part did we play? And that's not always easy, so people don't like to do it, okay? It doesn't mean we are trying to beat ourselves up. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We really want to offer ourselves forgiveness. Because, you know, in anything, and you all have heard me say this 100 times, in anything that we are doing, in anything that anyone is doing, okay, we are wanting to give, let's say, gives grace, and be able to say, in any situation, the people involved are doing the best that they can in the moment with the information and abilities they have at the time, okay? So you can, you know, put a limit on that and say, well, not that person. Okay, that's fine. That's your choice. But for most situations, we look at people and we want to assume no ill intent at first, right, until someone shows us that there's otherwise. We want to assume no ill intent. I'm not talking politics today. We want to assume no ill intent. If somebody cuts us off in traffic, how often are we like, that did you do? And we're like, well, what if they just generally didn't see us? Okay, what if they were really like rushing to get somewhere? Okay, so we can assume ill intent, or we can choose to assume ill intent, right, for any of those things. But at the same time, people are doing the best that they can, hopefully, okay? We'd like to give that benefit of the doubt with the information and abilities that they have at the time. Now, yesterday I did see a gentleman driving down the road with his phone like this on his top of his steering wheel on the highway, and this was how he was driving. So I'm not going to say he has ill intent, but I don't think he was doing the best that he could in the time with the abilities that he had, okay? We're all doing the best that we have, yes. And you know what, sweetie, I know what you're dealing with today because we've been talking about it, but I wasn't even thinking that, but this is one of the things we talked about last night in another group. So because the new moon in Cancer is it's a lot about forgiveness. And so we can forgive other people, and that is for our good health to forgive other people, okay? That doesn't say, okay, so you've heard me talk about a relationship that I ended with a lifelong friend, and I can forgive her the things that were done. That doesn't mean I want that person back in my life. And understand that that continues to be a thing, where because we were friends for so long, there's often times where I'm just like, reach out, see how they're doing, what's going on, like, and you know, thankfully we got, you know, social media, so we can kind of see what's up. But do I want that person back in my life? Do I want to open the door? No, I don't. And to be clear about that, I can forgive the things that they did. Were they acting out of ill intent? No, they weren't. Were they acting out of selfishness or, you know, whatever else? Yes. Was it intentionally designed to hurt me? No. Is it something I'm going to tolerate and allow to continue in my life? No. Boundaries. Okay. So we can forgive. That doesn't mean I'm excusing it, doesn't mean I'm welcoming back, asking for more, okay? And then at the same time, the part we have to play is forgiving ourselves. And so in that part of it, because in every situation, you know, if we're involved in it, we have a part that we're playing, whether we're willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly participating. Because sometimes we didn't realize we gave our power away. Sometimes we didn't even know we were involved when people are talking about us. I just found out I was involved in something I didn't even know I was involved with. So, you know, when I have the opportunity, when the universe presents me with opportunity to, you know, fix that, I'm not chasing it. I don't need to. That is not my drama. But when the universe presents me an opportunity to address it, and it will, I already know I'm going to be able to say, hey, look, I don't want to be involved in whatever you're doing, okay? So Are we involved? Did we knowingly or unknowingly participate, knowingly or unknowingly give our power away? These are the places we look at. If we have unknowingly and unwittingly given our power away, it's an easy forgiveness. Oh shit, I didn't know I was doing that. I'm going to stop doing that. Okay? If it's something where we know we've given our power away, as in the case with this relationship that I ended, I knew I was giving my power away, but it wasn't until somebody, and Chris just said, hit me straight in the face with it, a friend, another very trusted friend said, you would not let any other person in your life treat you this way. Why would you allow that person to continue to treat you this way? And I went, bam, no V8, bam. I don't know if that's not even a thing anymore, right? Oh my God, I would not allow any other person to treat me that way in my life. I don't care how long I've known them, I don't care how good a friend, I would not allow any other person to treat me that way. Bam. I, knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, was giving my power away, and now I need to own it. Okay, so I have to take a moment and say, I'm not doing that anymore. Boundaries, we're done. And I now have to forgive myself. And what's more, there were children involved, right? There were nieces, my nieces, who hate me, which I knew when I made that choice, that was going to be the consequence. I knew there was no way around it, either self-preservation or their preservation. And I love them, and they're growing up to be amazing, beautiful young women, and I'm so proud of them. And they don't want anything to do with me, and that is okay. And you know, that was the price. The price was my mental health, my physical health, and their well-being. Okay, and so sometimes that is the way it goes, right? And I know other amazingly strong, caring, incredible moms who have chosen to let their children live, their own children, these are not my children, to live with someone else, a parent, another, you know, a different member of the family, for their best good. How much strength does that take to know that that is the thing that's best for them? These are not even my kids. These are my nieces, and I love them. But I accepted that the price for my freedom was going to be that they would hate me, and they don't want anything to do with me, and that's okay, because I want them to live. It's more important for me that they live happy, healthy, joy-filled, well-balanced, emotionally balanced lives. Okay. I forgive myself for participating in the situation. They won't forgive me unless I out their parent, which I don't want to do, and serves no purpose because this is their parent. It doesn't buy anything back for me. So I can hope that maybe one day they'll forgive me, but I can release that, and I can forgive myself for the pain that I caused them in the process of creating freedom for myself and rectifying a situation for myself. So I ask the universe to help me, for them to be able to forgive me, but I have had to forgive myself for the pain I know I caused them in making the choice that was best for me. Okay, so this is one example. So as we are coming into this new moon on Wednesday morning, where are the places that you can forgive yourself? Because often, the last place we offer forgiveness is with ourselves. Our psychic friends are networking because, yes, I do know. Okay, now here's one more thing, and it's very interesting of the timing, but you know, the timing is never a coincidence, right? So as we are coming into June, we know that Jupiter, because we talked about this last week about some heavy hitters moving around in the astrological charts, and we know I'm not an astrologer, but we do know some things that we know that Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars were all moving around in June and causing lots of energy to shift. And so as Jupiter has been moving into Cancer, right, into this month of June, this is a time for nurturing. It's a time for focusing on our home and family life, which can be, you might be a family of 1, you might be a family of 10, okay, that we are focusing on having our safe, emotionally stable, physically safe home and family, right? And however we define, and that when we are nurturing, we are starting, right? We're starting with ourselves. We're starting with self-care, right? And we're knowing that also in June that Jupiter is going to come into conflict with Saturn and Neptune, which just makes everything like slogging through the mud. Okay, so if you've been trying to manifest things right now and you feel like it's just taking so damn long, well, we can thank, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune for that. Okay. However, we know that, and I wrote about this in my newsletter today, which will go out in an email later today. Are you on my email list? If you want to get my newsletter, you've got to be on my email list. So DM me your email address so I can add you to my email list. But one of the things I was talking about, because if you've been following me for even 5 minutes, you know my new class about unspooling your DNA is out and available for everyone. That one of the things we talk about is how the universe may not be able to bring us the things that we want until it moves other things out of the way. That's one of the things we talk about in class. And as the universe is moving and having that plan for us, if that is the case, that the universe is helping us to manifest by moving other things out of the way for us, then that is also the case. It would stand to reason that for other people who are working with manifestation, the power of the universe, whether they know it or not, the universe is also moving other things out of the way for them, even on the other side of the world. Okay, so if the universe is doing A, B, and C for us, and that's how the universe works, then the universe is working A, B, C for everybody else. And if that's the case, then there is a plan for chaos and sluggishness that comes in when the planets, the big heavy hitters of the planets, are all going, right, where the world's up there, of moving into the different places. And so when Saturn and Neptune and Jupiter are coming into conflicting positions, and it's causing things to be sluggish and slow and feel like we have to wait and move through the mud as we're trying to manifest, that is also part of the universe's plan. Okay, that is also part of us working with the universe. And so patience, so hard to learn patience, isn't it? We're so like, has anybody ever met anyone that's good at being patient? Because I don't know that I ever have. But that waiting is allowing those things to come into the cogs lining up so that we can receive the things that we've asked for. Okay. All right. So lots of information about that today. We do want to send a little extra love. If you follow on Facebook a lot, you'll see Chris Judd's name pop up a lot every week. So loyal, also my content manager for my website, super grateful for all her hard work. There was a very significant loss in her community, and so we just want to send a little extra good love and good vibes out in her direction today. Okay? All right, so having said that, we're going to grab our Kyle Gray Archangels cards, because I've been really enjoying adding the Archangels to our brain. Give me words, please. To our card reading, to our communication on Mondays. I really have been enjoying having the Archangels be part of it, knowing which Archangel is working with us and which Archangel we can lean into for the week. For me, at least, that's helpful. Hopefully that is something that's being helpful for you as well. Really enjoy being able to say, forget who we had. Oh, a jumper. Forget who we had last week. But to be able to say, hello, you came to us on Monday and told us these wonderful things. Now it's Thursday. What the heck are you all doing? Because sometimes it's nice to be able to have somebody you can look at and go, what the heck are you all doing? Who's from the other world. Okay, so this is Amethyst, which is interesting because Amethyst is not a archangel, but Amethyst is representing metamorphosis. We know that Amethyst is a beautiful stone. I usually have some on my desk here, but I think I moved it to the other room. This is a very, very pale piece of amethyst. We know purple stone, right? Amethyst. So amethyst is a love-related stone. This is a high vibration chakra, a crown chakra stone. In amethyst, it also protects travelers. Amethyst is great to put under your pillow if you want to have good dreams. It's great for that. If you want to get a little bit more clarity in your dreams, amethyst is good to put under your pillow. But this says, you are in a vortex of deep transformation. Surrender to the process that's unfolding. Now, if that does not align with what we have just been talking about, I don't know what does. And you know I love the cards because they're just like eavesdroppers. I mean, unbelievable eavesdroppers. So you are in a vortex, big planets moving, right? Summer solstice, new moon, planets shifting. You are in a vortex of deep transformation. Surrender to the process that's unfolding. And sometimes that means the universe has got to move some stuff out of the way. Okay? And sometimes that means the universe has got to move some people out of the way. Okay. All right, let's see what else. What else we've got going on today that we need to know about that is for the collective card reading for us for this week, this final week of June, the final week of June. Very exciting. Let's see what else. Oh, another jumper card. Very interesting. Very interesting. There's a card, and I'm going to hold it up in a second, but the card that just jumped out is number 4, Higher Power, which we know is hello, which, again, we are in the vortex of deep transformation, and we are leaning into the higher power. We literally just finished talking about how it's so important to trust the universe, and that the universe is working on our behalf, whether we can see it or not see it or understand it or not. So here we have the 4, right? And we have the angel, the archangel, not archangel, but the angel, and she's thinking, and she's listening, and all of that intentional stuff is coming up out of her head, and she is looking. And if you look, here's us, face of manifestation, face of creativity, possibility, all of that. Here we are in the cradle of her arms and in where her heart would be. Here we are, safe and protected, loved and supported. And you know I love number 4, right? 4 legs of a chair or a table shows that we are being supported by the universe, supported. And so we literally were just talking about how the universe must have some kind of plan in mind, some kind of organizational chart, some kind of something that is keeping track. If they're working on my behalf, they must be working on your behalf, because I'm not special, any more than anybody else. And so that means they must be working on all of our behalves to help us all bring into our lives the things that we're trying to manifest. It's not for the some, it's for the all. It's for all, because every single human being on this planet that ever is or was is a spark of divine light and love. You don't get here otherwise, period. Lauren says it was 4:44 and 44 seconds when you got out of the pool and remembered to get here. Well, aren't we all just feeling bad for Lauren being in the pool at 4:43? So, all right, Florida living in the summer. So what else do we need to know about what's going on in I'm glad you're enjoying your days with you, especially summer with young ones. So much fun. So what else do we need to know about what's going on? So here we had higher power, right? We had Amethyst talking to us about metamorphosis and trusting the universe as we are moving through the change. And here is the fates. Here's the fates. Now this is 17. Now 17 is 1 and 7 is 8. And 8 is the infinity, right? That we are going around, that things are never ending, that things are moving in the power of the universe. The infinity number is the power of the universe. It's like the little racetrack of the universe. We're going to get you there. We're going to get you there. And so here it is, the fates. This is, hey, this is about trust. This is about trusting the universe. This is about trusting us that we are having things come to you that are meant to come to you, okay? And there's so many signs in the universe that those unexpected little winks that say, hey, we are showing you we're paying attention. My son got a check in the mail today for $90, totally unexpected, totally out of the blue, really amazing timing, and it's just something that was just like a little wink from the universe that's saying, we're paying attention to you, and we are seeing that you are working, and you are trying, and we are meeting you. We are on the racetrack. We are in here with infinity, which means we're never going to leave your side. We're never going to not be available to you to lean into. We have got you. And oh, and by the way, if 4 is the number for support and manifestation and support from the universe, and 8 is double 4. I know that from Schoolhouse Rock. Okay. Kidding. Isn't that what they do in the multiplication thing when they shoot like ice skates? 8 is double 4s. And 4 is double something. That was a cute song. All right. So the last of what else, what are we missing? Okay, here's what do we need to know? What do we got to pay attention to? What is the other piece of the puzzle? What are we missing? Always in the last piece I'm looking at, what are we missing? And this is the here and now card, but it's upside down. Yay, math. Yay, Schoolhouse Rock. We learned so much, didn't we? All right, so this is the here and now card, but it's upside down. Except the here and now card, here's the thing. Here and now card is 32. So 32, that's 3 and 2 is 5. That was hard for me right there. 3 and 2 is 5. Coordination. So what comes after 4 shows us consecutive numbers that are increasing, shows us we're going in the right direction. 4, 5, we are going in the right direction. So this is the here and now card, but it is upside down. And it says, hey, while you are in this transformation that Amethyst is telling us, we are in the transformation, trust the universe as you go. And the fate card literally jumped out and said, we're here, we're paying attention, we're with you. And then the higher power card jumped out, and the fates came right after it and said, hello, here we are, we're the fates, we're with the higher power, we're connected, all connected. Here comes here now that says, don't look so far down the road, and don't be so, whoa, I'm waiting for the thing, like the old, it's a joke, right? It's a joke where they say, the drowning man, and God's going to save me, and the guy comes by in a boat and throws him a life preserver. He's no, God will save me, and another guy comes by in a helicopter and throws down a ladder, and he says, no, God will save me, and the guy drowns, and he gets to heaven, and he says, why didn't you save me? And God says, I sent you a helicopter and a ladder, I sent you a boat and a life preserver. What, hello, you have to at some point be part of the equation, right? And so when we have the here and now card, this reminds us that we have to be part of the equation. We've got to pay attention to what's going on around us. We've got to be present in the moment and not be so caught up in the fates and the higher power that the universe will save me. You still have to do the work. We still have to do the work. I love the saying, God feeds the birds, but he doesn't throw the food in the nest. We've still got to do the work, right? There's a ton of them, right? Can't move a parked car. Got to put it in your GPS or you can't know where you're going. All of the euphemisms and puns and, little cliches, they all come from a grain of truth. So for here and now, it's really important for us to be present in the moment while the universe is manifesting for us. We can't stick our heads under the sand, right? Or under the bed, or pick your place, okay? It's really important that we are part of the equation. Yes, the fates are going to help us. Yes, the higher power is here to help guide us and tell us and show us little signs and signals of where to look. And when we're not paying attention, we get those little nudges and things and says, hey, and if you're still not paying attention, then you get the cosmic bitch slap, where you might get ousted from a job. You might get, kicked in the shins, a sudden, God forbid, a car accident, something that's really like, get your attention. That is the cosmic bitch slap when we are not paying attention. And so it is really important that we are staying in the here and now. We can't be so caught up in the manifesting journey that we're not doing our part. Okay? That goes back to what we were talking about before, about places where we've unwittingly or knowingly or unknowingly given our power away. When we are not doing, yeah, you did, girl, but totally for a blessing. I mean, it's always for a blessing. It's always the cosmic. I mean, anybody not ever got a cosmic bitch slap in their life? We've all had it. And chances are we're going to have it again. But it's always for our higher good. You might not feel like that in the moment because, ow, but like totally for our higher good. Okay. We've got to stay engaged. We can't be so involved in trusting the universe to create for us that we have completely given our power away. Y'all remember the Disney movie or Pixar movie? It's WALL-E, right? WALL-E is I know it's Disney or Pixar. WALL-E, and the planet's been destroyed, right? Because we've just beat the shit out of it. And, WALL-E finds, he's the robot who's here on the planet to try and, clean up and help decide whether or not it's, there's breathable air and we can come back. And so humanity is now living in a spaceship above the planet. I think I'm getting that right. And everybody is fat, and they're all moving around in these Barca-loungers, lazy boys, that do everything for you, right? Your food is there, your TV, so nobody needs to move. Nobody has to do any work. And at the end of the movie, and they see that there's the, plant that WALL-E found, and there's life on Earth, and they decide they want to come down here, and they want to come back to the planet, and they realize, man, that's going to be hard. I got to do work. And one guy's like, all right, well, we're going to dig in the dirt. We're going to work, and we're going to figure it out. We have to be willing to do our own work. We can't be so trusting of the universe that we are surrendering our power. So there is a balance, which is why it's here and now. It's not here and another card that says now. It's here and now. It's important for us to be present in the moment and participate. Be an active participant in what you are creating and manifesting. Okay? We're not giving away our power. And really, for what's coming in the Cancer New Moon is so much about not giving away our power. Now, when we say I'm not giving away our power, we're not trying to have to be, mean about it. Like, I'm not doing something you asked me to do because I'm not giving up. No, that's not what we're talking about. But where we want to put in boundaries, if we are being manipulated or cajoled or, guilted, and look, we all got a mama, okay, into doing something that maybe we don't want to do, if it's not bringing you closer to joy, your goal, or your higher power, it is okay to say no. See, this does not work for me for right now. This is not working for me. This timing is not working for me. And when we are saying these things, short sentences are more powerful. We don't need to give a whole justification because. That is giving away our power. This isn't working for me right now. This doesn't fit for me right now. We don't need to justify ourselves. So as we are going forward, remembering, knowing where we want to go, trusting that the universe is working with us, but we still have to do the work, and we still have to do the work. We need to do our part. We're not giving away our power. Boundaries are important. All right. I think that is enough of that. Well, they really had a lot to tell us today, didn't they? All right. So let me take a sip of water while I do that. If you are wanting to have a card reading for yourself, for what's going on with you, you don't need to tell me the whole issue, but just put it in. You must ask, because especially if you're new, it's important that you say, me please, I want a card, something, something, because that allows me to connect in with your energy. I do not energetically trespass. That's rude. People come up and they say, well, what are you getting from me? I'm like, nothing. I'm not getting anything from you because I don't trespass. That's rude. Okay? Now, if you have come to sit down with me, if you have come to the live and you are here and you put it in the comment, that is not trespassing. I have been invited in, and I thank you for inviting me in. All right. There's a difference. There is something to be said for if you show up here, it's because you probably, were wanting a card. So there is that. Although, if you can watch the numbers of people coming in and out as of who's, viewing, hard to say. So I would much rather hear it from you directly. All right. Now, y'all know the deal. Put a comment in one time. Please don't put it in 72 times. Please. I knew you were going to say that, Stephen Van Meter. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Oh, dang. Now I really want to know what's going on. I knew you were going to say that. Dang. All right, only put in the comment one time because the window that I can see the comments is very small, and if you do, you push all the people up. We go in the order of I see the comments, which please keep in mind may not be the order that you see the comments. And, I forgot to do our Malachim cards. We're going to do our angel cards. Yes, Chrissy, I see you. I see you. I'm so happy to see you. Let me just do the Malachim cards. So only if you've already put in the comments, please just know that I've seen them. We're going to go in order. We're going to start with Sharon. And Sharon, my Hebrew reading friend, reminded me we definitely want to have prayers for peace and for everywhere, but especially Israel right now. And so we want to have our Malachim cards. These are Israeli. Oh, all right. Three. We're going to do three today. We're going to do three. These are Israel. Angel cards. Malachim is the word for angel in Hebrew. So these are written in Hebrew, English, and Arabic, and they are for peace, cards for peace. And so very interesting. So we usually pick two, but today a third one jumped out. And so these are ideas, these are concepts that we add and we lay over the card readings that we've had, something to keep in mind as we go forward. And so not surprisingly, the cards today are change, motion, and faith. So we have change, motion, and faith. Okay, and as is my habit, I will try to shini, try to read it in Hebrew. I don't read Arabic. I don't even know where to start with that. Shini maybe is change. Tenua, motion. My Hebrew might be wrong. It's hard to read Hebrew without vowels. But sometimes we get somebody who can read it better than me. Emunah, I know is faith. Emunah is faith. Okay, so I know that one is faith. It's emunah. So overlaying what the universe has already been telling us, we have change, motion, which is very encouraging, and faith. Okay? All right, so we have those. All right, so we have Sharon Goldstein. First card. All right, and then we have Belinda. I see Christy. We're going to do a couple on Facebook. We'll come over to Instagram. So Sharon Goldstein, this is upside down. This is time to go. This is card 45. This is 4 and 5 is 9. This is upside down, though, the time to go card. And so when time to go is upside down, it's really about letting things go, okay? It's letting go. So this may have me go back into the forgiveness part that we were talking about earlier. But this is about letting things go. It's also about letting things play out how they are meant to be, and then again trusting in the universe that things as they are going forward, 9 is coming to the end of a journey, as things are going forward, they are happening as they are meant to happen, okay, as they are happening for the people that are involved for their highest and best good, we hope. Okay, so trust. So letting go is also, especially upside down, is also a trust as things are unfolding. It's about trust as well. Okay, and not trying to control the things we cannot control, which is a hard one. That is a hard one. So we're going to send a little extra love and energy to Sharon today as well. All right, so Belinda's card also upside down. Belinda, this is 8. So we saw 8 earlier. So this is 8. This is community. So Belinda, this is also 8. Okay, this is also community. So this is really going to be about allowing yourself to connect to other people. Okay, so you may have a little boundaries that are maybe a little higher or a little bit extended out, and maybe we need to put a gate in the boundaries. Maybe we need to allow some trusted people to come into our inner circle that we can trust, to have some maybe new people come into our inner circle. Sometimes our inner circle can be so tight, our boundaries can be so tight, and especially with things being very political these days, we can be so tight in our spaces that we're not letting any new blood or any new voices come into our circle. And so Belinda, this may very well be about allowing new people to come into your circle. Okay, I'm not saying we need to open up to people who are so diametrically opposed to things, or who are, as we say in my family, shit starters, but it is considering adding some new voices, new perspectives to help you see things from a different point of view. Okay, so this really is talking about allowing your community to expand, because as we get older, especially our communities, our inner circle can get very small and can get very monochromatic, like very one note. Okay, so this is talking about injecting some new energy into your circle, Belinda. Okay, all right, so then we have Michelle, and Michelle also upside down. Michelle, this is card 22. Belinda, this was also 8, so that this was going, that we're going around and around, and we want to make sure that we're inviting new things in, right? So we don't want to keep going around and around forever in the infinity symbol without having new experiences. Okay, all right, so Michelle, this was also upside down, and this is 22. 22 is 4. 2 and 2 is 4, right? So we have that. You're very welcome, Belinda. I'm so glad. Yay. Okay, so we have with Michelle being blessed, but this is upside down. So blessed. So Michelle, as you're going forward, we know there's challenges. We know there's things that are really feels like there's some fingernails on the chalkboard around you, some people that are just, right? And so as you're going forward with that, remember that you are blessed. And this is reminding you, remember, to the here and now card, it's reminding you to take some time and really focus in on the places where there's blessing, because it can be very, very easy for us to focus in on all the crap. Okay, it's harder for us to take a time and say, okay, I know there's that pile of horse poop, there's got to be in the pony in there somewhere. Okay, so Michelle, this is a reminder for you to look for the pony. Okay, this is a reminder for you to say, okay, even though things are really maybe complicated right now, because it does feel like somebody is really trying to push a button with you, but even though things are complicated, to say, where is there still blessings to be found? Okay, where are there still blessings? But that takes conscious effort, because this card is upside down. But as you turn it, consciously turning it right side up, remember 22 and 2 and 2 is 4. So as you're doing that, even though it might not be the easiest thing in the world, remember you are being supported as you go. Okay, all right, so we're going to jump over to Instagram for a second for my friend Christy. Okay, so Chrissy, this is also upside down, but this is one with the universe to share with you. Okay, so this is still upside down, but this is 25, so that's number 7. 5 and 2 is 7, and this is round and round, which is the sacred geometry. Okay, I love the card for the beauty of it. It's so pretty, but this is the sacred geometry, and it's reminding you of where are you missing the lessons, because this card's upside down. So if it's upside down, it says you are repeating patterns, you are coming back around to places, but you are coming to a new level. You're coming to a higher arc in this. But this is really important for you to stop and say, okay, I've been here before. How can I see this from a different perspective? Okay, what else am I missing? So we're doing those things over and over, expecting different results. We want to make sure as we are coming around again is how can I learn something new? What is that I'm missing, right? And we talked about that earlier. How can I see this from a different perspective of the things that I am involved in the situation? I have participated in the situation. How can I see this from a different perspective? Chrissy, so this is asking you to zoom out a little bit and say, okay, how can I see my situation from where I am right now in a different perspective, so that when I come back around again, I'm in a higher place along that stairwell. Okay, makes sense? All right, so we have, awesome. All right, so we have Ellen. All right, fantastic, we have Ellen. All right, so Ellen, we have, soulmates, 41. 4 and 1 is 5, right in the middle of the road, right in the middle of the journey, soulmates. So Ellen, keeping in mind that soulmates, ooh, is there an anniversary coming up for you? I'm just wondering if that is where this card is coming from. But keeping in mind that soulmates don't necessarily have to be about a love pair bond. Okay, soulmates can also be a best friend, a mentor, pets. You know, believe it or not, can be soulmates. It doesn't have to be a romantic inclination to a soulmate. Soulmates are here to show us a mirror, right? Just like twin flames, things like that are here to show us the mirror. So welcome. The soulmates are here to show us the mirror. They're here to hold up that mirror to our face to say, what is it you're missing? What is it I'm not seeing? What have I been unwilling to see? But when I look myself in the mirror, I have no choice but to see that reflection. Okay. So Ellen, the soulmate card is not just about, you know, love and joy and romance or whatever, but it really is, what have you been unwilling to see? What is it that you are missing? Okay. However, know that this is being brought to you because it's a soulmate. It's being brought to you with true, genuine love and affection from a source that can absolutely be trusted. Okay? I hope that makes sense. All right. Lauren. Oops. Where'd I go? Okay. Hi, everybody. All right, Lauren. All right. Now remember, the card, if it's not your turn, yes, there could be value in the information for you, okay? Was it Colette Baron Reed calls them cledons, something that is your information that is for you, that it was given to somebody else, but you can still take value from it, okay? So Lauren, this card is 15. 1 in 5 is 6. You're over the hump. You're over the hard part. This is message in a bottle. Girlfriend, you do not need me to interpret this card. All right, this is message in a bottle. The thing that happened that was, you know, hidden information, that behind something, the bottle got thrown into the ocean. Oh my goodness, I'm lost at sea. But wait, there's more, something of value that is there for you. And so the message in the bottle, now keeping in mind that the pelican, he's looking at the bottle, he's holding the telescope in his little flippers there. He's not worried about where we're going. The seas are calm, the skies are calm, the bottle is floating, it's already been found, the message has already been received. So please, please take this as a confirmation card for all the things that we were just talking about last night. Okay? So this is message in a bottle. It is a beautiful, because if you see, the bottle is covered in little starfish and everybody is happy. Okay, so please take this as the message in the bottle is, where is the blessing inside that pile of horse poop? You have already found that. I know that you have. So anybody that's in the pool at 4:45 on a Monday afternoon, you go, girl. All right, Chris Judd. May I have a card unrelated to the last 20 hours? Absolutely. So this is Truth Be Told. This is upside down, Truth Be Told, and this is, now I don't know if this is unrelated to the last 24 hours. I have to say that. So this is 14, so 1 and 4 is 5, so which means you're coming to the high part of this journey, this particular chapter, right? Because we go up, we climb the mountain, we get to the top of the mountain, we are, you know, and then we got to get that crossroads. And it's like, well, am I going back down the mountain or am I going forward? Okay, so that's where we are with 5 numbers. Okay, so this is 14, 1 and 4 is 5, but this is upside down, this Truth Be Told number. Okay, and so this is really about, again, what are we unwilling to see? When this card is upside down, what are we been unwilling to see? What is it about your current situation, irrelevant of the, you know, irrespective of the last 24 hours, what is it that you have been unwilling to see about your abilities, your, you know, capabilities, your power, your, you know, current situation, that perhaps, if you take the last 20 hours into consideration, that perhaps you've been leaning too much into a faux dependence, okay? Or perhaps you have been putting too much on, and one of the things we talked about last night, I don't know how else to say this, is how we allow, how we maybe don't allow ourselves to feel certain feelings in certain situations because we feel like that might be wrong. And so this is saying to you, you want to take off the mask and you want to see the situation for what it really is. And so as you're going forward, with the last 20 hours or without the last 20 hours, really taking a good look at what is your situation and saying, listen, let me use this opportunity to reassess my life and reassess my current situation and say, where am I putting on a mask? Where am I putting a mask on someone else and maybe making more out of their contributions or their role than was there? And where can I be more into my truest self and see others for their truest selves as well? Okay? So there's a way to see this card as related to the last 20 hours. There's a way to see this card as not related to the last 20 hours, and I will let you receive that how it is most suited to you, my friend. Okay? Steven Van Meter. Now. I would love a card. Lots of transition. Card said I was moving. Well, Saturday I'm moving into my new place with my new girlfriend. Well. I knew the next time I heard from you there was going to be a new woman around. I knew it. I guess I did not have to be psychic to know. Okay. Where'd I go again? I'm very happy for you, my friend. I'm very, very happy for you. Very happy. All right. Because this will be good. All right. Well, look forward to hearing more about that. So interesting, because this is card 10. So on the one hand, new adventures. On the other hand, culmination of a journey, right? Because anytime the door closes, another one opens, right? So we have this. And this is unfinished symphony. Okay, so this is reminding you, because it is upside down. So this is reminding you that there is still other work for you to do. Okay, and so while this falls into place very beautifully, very easily, with lots of joy, with lots of love, and I'm so happy for you because I know this is what you wanted and what you've been working on manifesting. Please don't lose sight of the other work that you need to be doing for your own continued self-evolvement and self-unfoldment. Okay, so when this is upside down, we want to make sure that we are still staying in alignment with the universe. So my feeling about this as it relates to the comment that you have written publicly is, please make sure that the new place is in your name. Okay, so please stay on your path even while these blessings are coming, and yay for the blessings that are coming, but don't lose sight of the work that you did that you did for yourself and your growth to get here. Okay, makes sense? Hopefully it makes sense. Okay. Hello, howdy, Stacy Claxton Applegate. All right, so Chris Judd has given us the pronunciations for our words in Arabic. Yatag Kahar, Haraka, and Iman are the words in Arabic. Now, I don't know which ones those are, but again, our Malachim were faith, motion, and change. So thank you, Chris Judd. All right, Stacy Claxton says, howdy, and she would like a card. That is excellent. I'm very glad you clarified. All right, so we have Stacy Claxton Applegate. So this is also upside down. All the individual cards today, for the most part, upside down, right? This is to be fair. So this is 38. So 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. So new journeys, Stacy Applegate. But this is to be fair. And this is also about, because it was also upside down, this is also about seeing things from a different perspective, about really not putting blinders on and seeing a situation, making it be something you didn't, that it's not really trying to be, trying to make more of something than what it was or what it is. But this is also about releasing control, because we're upside down, we're standing on our head, and we do have the face of manifestation, the face of possibility, intuition is all right here, but it's underneath of us, right? We're standing on it, like as if we're sitting on what is our intuition. We're not seeing things from what is the truth of the perspective being upside down. So this is really about releasing things to let them evolve and not trying to have to control everything. As you can see, our arms and legs are not attached to anything right now. So this is allowing things to unfold. To be fair is not to judge things as we might want them to be, but in trying to force the situation to be something it's not, and just allowing things to unfold and not trying to control the situation as it does. Okay? All right, Sharon, you are welcome. Belinda, you are also welcome. Very glad it resonates. Tracy McGinley, a card for you. Hello, Scott Altman and Kimmy Smith. Tracy McGinley, a card for you. Hello at home in the villages. All right, Tracy McGinley. So this is also upside down. This is exchanging gifts. This is card 27. 7 and 2 is 9. So again, coming to the ends of journeys, but this is exchanging gifts. Now here's the thing with this being upside down, Tracy, this is really where it's important about allowing things, again, to develop, but this is allowing ourselves to be receivers, okay? Very often when we are manifesting, creating, we are independent, we are rolling up our sleeves, we're getting stuff done, we are reluctant to receive or ask for help. And so exchanging gifts reminds us that it is not a weakness for us to take or ask for help, and that we all row the boat together. Okay, Tracy, so this is really about allowing yourself to be a little bit vulnerable and allowing yourself to receive. Because I can't tell you how often, even with my husband, he's like, hey, can I carry that for you? I'm like, no, I got it. And while I do, and I'm perfectly capable, Was that sweet? And of course, here, yes, thank you. Because now I'm able to honor him or the other person and say, thank you for participating. Thank you for even asking. That was so nice of you to ask. We let someone else participate. And so this is saying, yes, you are 100% capable of lifting the barge and toting that bale or whatever it was, but allowing others in is really important as well. And it is not a weakness to allow others to be participants in going forward. We all row the boat together. All right, so there is that for you. And it's not a judgment. It's not anything like you're doing something wrong. Please do not say that. But sometimes when we're really focused on a goal or we're really focused on just doing our thing, we forget that it's okay to ask or accept people's help, okay? And sometimes it's just kindness. Like somebody holds the door and you're like, oh, thank you. Because when we say that to somebody else, and this is for all of us, when we say that for somebody else, we bless them. And when you look at somebody genuinely in the eye and say, thank you so much for holding the door, whatever it was that they did, we send light to that person. And so we get to share light. And that's a really wonderful thing. Hello, Scott Altman. Hello, Kimmy Smith. Hello, Ellen. You are so welcome. Krista, also very welcome. Stephen, smiley faces. Yeah, you better come see me. You better tell me an email of what is going on. Okay, good. I'm glad you're being very smart and not surprised. Okay. Chris says, I can't answer that as well either. You are very welcome. I love your guts right back. And Stacy, perfect timing. Yay. All right, so let's pull one more card, as is my habit that I like to make sure we pull one more for the before we wrap it up. We'll pull one more card for everybody. And so this also, everything is upside down today. Okay, but it's not a bad thing. It just asks us, when things are upside down, it's asking us to pay a little bit closer attention, right? We saw that here and now card come in. This is serendipity, all right? We talked about the cosmic bitch slap, right? We talked about how if we're not paying attention, we're going to get hello, bam, right? So this is really important that we're saying, okay, serendipity, I see you. How are you trying to show me something? What is it you're trying to show me? So serendipity is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. Coming to the ends of journeys. The serendipity is those little wings from the universe where the universe is trying to say, hey, look over there. We're trying to show you where the answer is. We're trying to show you where the 4-leaf clover is. Just go grab it. Right? Listen to us. Trust the universe, which is really where we started with higher power and the fates, which is where we started today. And so here we are going to close it out saying, listen, trust us. Trust the universe is working on your behalf. Even when it doesn't feel like it, trust that there are things that are coming together for your highest good. Now, also remember, because I remember I said this to somebody recently, when loved ones leave, when loved ones transition, sometimes it is because they are no longer able or capable in their physical form to be of service that they had been or that they wanted to be or complete the mission for which they came here to do. That does not mean that they are not still on the mission and that they are perhaps more able to help us from the other side. So serendipity is a big part of that. When our loved ones are part of the universe and the angels and the guides and the spirits and the spirit animals and all of the things that are going, hey, look over there. So please don't think that serendipity is all this weight on the shoulders of the universe. Our loved ones are a big part of that. And sometimes they are more able to help us from the other side than they are from here. Okay? So with that, know that whatever is going on in your world or the world, the universe is working with us, and the universe is always working on our behalf. You are loved. You are loved by me. You are loved by the universe. You are loved and being worked for and with by all of those energies on the other side that are all coming together in this time to help create and manifest all these new higher expansion things that the amethyst card told us. We are in this time of deep transition, and the best thing we can do is trust the universe and all that that encompasses and allow this to continue to unfold. Okay? You are loved. I will see you next week. Mwah.